Many people feel heaviness in their steps, sudden fatigue, or strange accidents that repeat themselves again and again. They think it's just coincidence. But in reality, energy does not lie. The feet are the foundation of your journey in life, and when witchcraft is directed at them, it seeks to stop your progress, slow your growth, and bind your destiny. If you want to walk freely on your chosen path, you must learn how to identify these attacks and, more importantly, how to destroy them. When we talk about recognizing the signs of spiritual chains on the feet, it is important first to understand that energy leaves traces, even when the source remains invisible. Most people think of their feet only in a physical sense, bones, muscles, skin. But in many traditions, the feet are symbolic of progress, of direction, of the ability to move forward in life. When this movement is hindered by forces that go beyond the physical, you may find yourself trapped in cycles of delay, misfortune, or confusion. These are not random occurrences. They are signals that something is interfering with your natural flow. The challenge is to notice them before they root too deeply in your life. Sometimes it begins subtly, almost unnoticeably. You wake up in the morning, and instead of feeling light and rested, your steps feel heavy as though you are carrying weights tied to your ankles. You may shrug it off as tiredness, but when this heaviness becomes consistent, when every attempt to take a step forward in your goals feels strangely blocked, that is when you must start paying attention. The body whispers before it screams, and your feet are one of the first places where this whispering can be detected. Another sign is the repetition of injuries or accidents involving your feet and legs. You might find yourself tripping on flat ground, stubbing your toes more often than usual, or facing recurring pain in your ankles without clear medical explanation. In the physical world, coincidence exists, but when these patterns repeat over and over again, it is not coincidence anymore. It is interference. The energy directed at your foundation is seeking to destabilize you. And the truth is, if your feet are bound, your path is bound. If your foundation is unstable, every other part of your journey will eventually suffer. There is also the restless movement of the body when you are under attack. Have you ever noticed that even when you are still, your feet cannot stay calm? They twitch, they shake, they feel restless. It may look small from the outside, but energetically it signals a battle happening within you. That restlessness is the body's attempt to shake off what is being held down. The spirit is fighting against the invisible chains. If ignored, that restlessness often turns into sleepless nights, endless pacing, or even the feeling that something is crawling on your feet. These sensations are not random. They are early alarms telling you that your energy is being tampered with. Beyond the body, your external life may start to reflect these chains. You prepare for an opportunity, but at the last moment, something pulls it away. You try to travel, and the journey is delayed again and again. You begin a new project, and it collapses before it gains stability. It may feel as though every road you walk suddenly turns into mud, slowing your progress. In reality, the attack on the feet has already reached into your destiny. What begins as heaviness in the steps soon manifests as blockages in life. This is why recognizing the first signs is so important. If you catch them early, you can prevent deeper entanglement. It is also necessary to listen to the symbolic language of dreams. Often, when witchcraft attacks your feet, it will appear in dreams long before it manifests physically. You may dream of walking but being unable to move forward, as if your legs are trapped in chains or mud. You may dream of losing shoes, walking barefoot in unsafe places, or being chased but unable to run. These are not meaningless dreams. They are mirrors of what is happening in your energy body. Ignoring them allows the attack to strengthen. Acknowledging them gives you the awareness to begin dismantling it. Recognizing these signs requires honesty and awareness. It is easy to dismiss them, to explain them away with logic. But wisdom lies in observing the patterns without fear and without denial. If your feet are bound in the unseen, no amount of physical effort alone will free you. You must be willing to look deeper. Energy does not lie, and once you begin to pay attention, you will see the connections between what your feet are experiencing and what your life is reflecting. The first step to freedom is awareness. Without recognizing the chains, you cannot remove them. Without acknowledging the interference, you cannot fight it. Too many people remain bound because they refuse to believe what their body and their life are already trying to tell them. But once you learn to recognize these signs, you are no longer walking blindly. You begin to see the invisible ropes for what they are, and in that moment of clarity, the destruction of their power has already begun. And so, if your feet feel heavy, if they are restless, if they keep falling into accidents, if your life reflects delay after delay, do not dismiss it. These are not coincidences. These are signs. When you see them, you are being given a chance to act, to protect yourself, and to free your steps. Because only with free steps can you walk fully into the life that belongs to you. When we ask why the feet are targeted, we must remember that in every tradition, every culture, the feet carry deep symbolic meaning. They are not simply a part of the body, they are the root of your journey. Wherever you go, whatever you achieve, it is your feet that carry you there. They determine direction, they bear the weight of your entire being, and they symbolize movement into the future. When someone wants to hinder your life, they attack the foundation. They do not need to strike the head or the hands if they can bind the feet, because if the feet cannot move, the entire body remains stuck. This is why witchcraft often focuses on the feet. It is not random, it is not accidental. The intention is clear: to stop you from progressing, to keep you tied to the same cycle, to make sure you cannot step out of the place where you are stuck. Think about it. When your feet are strong, you can walk any path you choose. You can climb mountains. You can leave behind what no longer serves you. But when your feet are chained, when your steps are sabotaged, you are forced to remain in situations that drain you, relationships that harm you, and environments that block your growth. The attack is never only about the feet. It is about your destiny. There is another reason the feet are chosen. They are the lowest part of the body, closest to the earth, always touching the ground. In spiritual terms, this makes them both powerful and vulnerable. Powerful because they are in constant contact with the earth's energy, absorbing strength and stability from it. Vulnerable because anything sent against you through the earth, powders, rituals, curses, often makes its way first to your feet. That is why in many cultures, the act of scattering substances in someone's path is used to capture their steps. Once your steps are captured, your freedom is gone. The feet also hold a symbolic connection to direction. To walk north, south, east, or west is not only physical, it is spiritual. Each direction represents a path in life, a choice, a destiny. By binding the feet, one is not only keeping you still, but also keeping you from choosing. The attack robs you of freedom, making you wander in circles, unable to move into new opportunities. Have you ever seen someone who works hard, who prays, who dreams, but still remains in the same place year after year? It is often because their steps are bound. Energy has restricted their direction, so they can only spin in cycles instead of moving forward. There is also a psychological weight in attacking the feet. When your feet are hurt, movement becomes painful. When walking is difficult, even simple tasks feel heavy. This physical reflection of spiritual bondage creates despair. It tells the mind you cannot move. And once the mind believes it cannot move, the person accepts the chains as natural. That is the most dangerous part of these attacks. Not the pain, not the delay, but the acceptance. Because when you accept being bound, you no longer fight. And when you no longer fight, the attack has already succeeded. Consider the rituals and traditions around feet throughout history. In many cultures, washing the feet is a sign of purification. Anointing the feet is a sign of blessing. Binding the feet in curses is a sign of control. The reason is always the same: the feet represent where you will go in life. If someone wants to bless your journey, they touch your feet. If someone wants to curse your journey, they also target your feet. The symbolism is universal because it carries truth. The feet are the gateway of movement, and so, controlling the gateway means controlling the traveler. This is why it is so critical to pay attention to how your feet feel and what they experience. They are not simply tools for walking. They are messengers of your path. When they are heavy, it is telling you something. When they are restless, it is signaling something. When they are blocked, it is warning you of interference. Ignoring this language is like ignoring the foundation of your house when it begins to crack. Eventually, the entire structure will suffer. To understand why the feet are targeted is to understand the intention behind the attack. No one wastes energy casting chains without purpose. The purpose is always to restrict, to delay, to bind. And once you realize this, you can see why protecting the feet is so essential, why cleansing them, blessing them, and strengthening them becomes a shield not only for your body, but for your destiny itself. Because your life will only move as freely as your steps allow. And so, when you find your path blocked, when you feel unable to move forward despite your effort, remember this truth: it is your feet they are after. Because if your steps are bound, your future is bound. But if your steps are free, nothing in this world or beyond it can keep you from walking into the life that belongs to you. When we speak about cleansing and purification rituals, We must first understand that what is unseen often leaves residue on what is seen. Just as dust settles on the skin after a day of walking through the world, negative energy can also settle upon the body, especially the feet, which are the first to touch the ground and the first to receive what is laid in our path. To remove this residue is not simply about washing in the physical sense. It is about renewing your energy, releasing what does not belong to you, and restoring the natural flow that has been interrupted. The most ancient element of cleansing is water. Water has always been regarded as a carrier of life, a force that dissolves, washes away, and renews. When you bathe your feet in pure water with awareness, you are not only cleaning dirt but also signaling to the energy body that the heaviness must be released. Flowing water, especially from natural sources like rivers or streams, is particularly powerful because it carries movement within it. It teaches your steps how to move again. When you immerse your feet in moving water, visualize everything that clings to you: fear, heaviness, chains, being carried away by the current. You will notice that even in the physical body, your steps feel lighter afterward, as though something has been lifted. Salt has long been used as a purifier, and its strength lies in its simplicity. When you place salt in water and soak your feet, you are creating a boundary. Salt absorbs and neutralizes negative energy, dissolving what has been attached to you. This is why in many traditions salt is spread at thresholds or carried for protection. It is not superstition, it is knowledge. The earth crystallizes salt through pressure and time, and this natural structure makes it absorbent, not only of physical impurities but of energetic ones as well. When your feet are soaked in salt water, you are essentially commanding what has bound you to release its grip. And after such cleansing, it is important to dispose of the water away from your living space, so the energy is not recycled back into your environment. Fire is another element of purification. Though it is often misunderstood, fire destroys what no longer serves. In ritual, it symbolizes transformation, turning what is heavy and dark into ash that cannot bind you. When your feet are attacked, one way to use fire is indirectly, through smoke. The smoke of herbs like sage, frankincense, or even simple wood carries the fire's transformative quality. Passing your feet through the rising smoke signals to the energy field the chains must burn away. Fire does not compromise. Where it touches, transformation occurs. Even lighting a simple candle and placing your focus on it while setting the intention to purify your steps can shift the atmosphere, because fire listens to intention more than words. Cleansing is not only about elements but about awareness. If you wash your feet mechanically, thinking only of the physical act, you will clean the skin but not the spirit. But if you approach the act with consciousness, acknowledging that you are releasing heaviness, that you are commanding your energy to reset, the same water, the same salt, the same flame will work differently. Energy responds to presence. When you give your full presence to cleansing, you give power to the act. Some may wonder, why focus so much on the feet when the entire body is under spiritual attack? The answer is simple: the feet are the gateway of movement. If the gateway is blocked, the rest of the house cannot function. By cleansing the feet, you are opening the path again. The energy that flows upward into the legs, the body, the mind, all begins with the steps you take. That is why purification rituals directed toward the feet are so effective. They address the root of stagnation. But cleansing alone is not enough. It must be consistent. Just as dust returns every day, negative energy too can try to return. Rituals are not a one-time cure. They are maintenance. This is why many traditions integrate foot washing or smoke cleansing into daily or weekly practice. It is not because they doubt their strength, but because they understand that life itself exposes us to energies that require release. The one who learns to cleanse consistently is the one who learns to walk freely no matter what is placed in their path. After cleansing, it is important to replace what has been removed with something positive. If you wash away heaviness, but do not fill the space with light, the void invites the same darkness back. That is why anointing the feet with oil, praying over them, or simply speaking words of strength to them is powerful. It seals the act of cleansing with intention, ensuring that what was removed does not return. The oil softens, the words strengthen, and the energy aligns again with freedom. In the end, cleansing and purification are not just rituals. They are acts of reclaiming control over your own path. They are ways of telling your spirit, I will not carry what does not belong to me. I will not walk in chains. I will not allow my destiny to be delayed. Each time you wash, burn, or bless, you are not only removing the attack, you are training your energy to remain free. And when your steps are free, your journey cannot be stopped. Building inner awareness and sensitivity is perhaps the most vital step in protecting yourself. Because no matter how many external rituals you perform, if your inner awareness is weak, the attacks will always find a way to return. The truth is, what is invisible can only be detected by a refined sensitivity. When your awareness is sharp, you begin to notice what others dismiss as coincidence. You sense changes in energy, in atmosphere, even in your own body, and instead of ignoring them, you recognize them as signals. This awareness is like developing an inner radar, one that warns you of danger before it reaches too close. Awareness begins with stillness. Many people cannot detect spiritual interference because their lives are too noisy. They are always rushing, always distracted, always consumed by the external world. In such a state, even if the body gives a clear signal, they miss it. The heaviness in the feet, the sudden fatigue, the restless movement, all of it gets blamed on stress or tiredness. But when you learn to quiet the mind, when you give yourself space to be still, those same signals become clear. You begin to notice the subtle difference between natural tiredness and unnatural heaviness, between ordinary discomfort and spiritual disturbance. This inner sensitivity is not about fear, it is about connection. Fear closes awareness because it clouds the mind and narrows perception. Connection expands awareness because it grounds you in reality as it truly is. For example, if you walk into a room and suddenly feel your feet grow heavy or restless, awareness allows you to pause and ask, why is this happening now? What energy am I stepping into? Without awareness, you continue as if nothing is wrong, carrying that energy with you. With awareness, you can choose to release it before it roots itself inside. That single choice makes the difference between remaining bound and remaining free. Training awareness also means learning to listen to the language of your body. Your body never lies. It carries wisdom that the mind often ignores. When something foreign attaches to you, the body reacts. It may feel like tingling, restlessness, or sudden weakness. These are not random sensations, they are messages. But to hear them, you must stop running from yourself. You must slow down enough to feel. Many people search for answers outside when their own body has been speaking all along. Awareness is the discipline of listening inward. Dreams are another way awareness speaks. In dreams, the conscious mind relaxes and the subconscious communicates without filter. If your feet are under attack, it often shows in your dreams long before it shows in your waking life. You may dream of running but never moving, or of being barefoot in unsafe places, or of stepping on sharp objects that do not exist in reality. These images are symbolic reflections of energetic truths. Without awareness, you dismiss them as strange dreams. With awareness, you recognize them as warnings, and you begin to prepare. The dream world is not separate from your life, it is a mirror. Awareness means learning to read that mirror with wisdom. Another level of awareness is sensing the shifts in atmosphere around you. When you enter certain places or interact with certain people, your energy changes. Sometimes your feet feel suddenly heavy, sometimes your chest tightens, sometimes your thoughts become clouded. These shifts are not accidental, energy is contagious. Awareness allows you to trace the source, to recognize what strengthens you and what drains you. And once you know this, you can choose where to walk, whom to trust, and what to avoid. Without awareness, you continue walking blindly into traps. With awareness, you walk consciously, and every step becomes a choice rather than a reaction. Developing sensitivity is like training a muscle. At first, it feels difficult. The signals are faint, the patterns are unclear, but the more you practice, the sharper it becomes. Meditation, breathwork, silent observation of your surroundings, these are tools to refine your perception. The quieter your mind becomes, the louder energy speaks, and once you train this sensitivity, you cannot be deceived easily. Even if someone speaks kindly, your energy body will tell you whether their intention is clean or corrupt. Even if a place looks beautiful, your awareness will tell you if it is safe or heavy with unseen influence. This is power, not the power to control others, but the power to protect yourself through clarity. Awareness is not meant to make you paranoid. It is meant to make you free. When you are blind, you stumble into traps. When you see clearly, you avoid them altogether. This is why building inner awareness is more powerful than any single ritual. Rituals cleanse what has already entered. Awareness prevents it from entering at all. Awareness allows you to sense when the attack is approaching, to shield yourself before it takes hold, and to walk with confidence even in environments where others are easily bound. When your awareness is awake, you become like a flame in the dark. Darkness cannot overtake a flame, it can only retreat. The one who sees cannot be trapped as easily as the one who is blind. And so, the more you train your awareness, the less vulnerable you become to attacks on your feet or any other part of your being. Awareness is the shield that no enemy can penetrate. This is why cultivating sensitivity to energy, to your body, to your dreams, and to your environment is so essential. Without it, you are walking with closed eyes, vulnerable to every chain. With it, your eyes are open, and every step you take is guided by clarity and protection. And when clarity walks with you, no chain can hold your feet. When we speak about protective shields and energy fortification, it is important to understand that prevention is always stronger than cure. Cleansing rituals remove what has already touched you, but if you are not fortified, those same forces can return again and again. True protection comes not only from removing what is harmful but from strengthening your inner field, so that what is harmful cannot attach to you in the first place. The more fortified your energy becomes, the less effort you need to spend fighting what tries to bind your feet. A strong shield makes the attack dissolve before it ever reaches you. Energy fortification begins with the way you carry yourself each day. Protection is not something you switch on only in ritual moments. It is a way of living, a consistent discipline that keeps your field strong. If you wake each day heavy with negative thoughts, complaining, doubting yourself, and filling your mind with fear, you are weakening your shield. You are opening cracks in your energy. But when you rise with clarity, with intention, with gratitude, you are already building a wall around yourself. What you allow in your mind directly affects what you allow in your field. That is why the first shield of protection begins with thought. A disciplined mind is a guarded fortress. Breath is another tool of fortification. Many overlook it because it seems too simple. But breath is the bridge between the seen and unseen. When you breathe deeply and consciously, you fill your body with life force and strengthen your aura. When your breath is shallow, your field is weak. Spend a few moments each day inhaling deeply, visualizing light entering you, and exhaling fully, releasing any heaviness. Over time, this simple practice thickens the protective layer around you. You may not see it with the eyes, but you will feel it in the way attacks bounce off instead of sticking. Movement also plays a role. The feet, as the foundation of your journey, respond strongly to movement practices that combine awareness and energy. Walking, meditation, martial arts stances, or even standing in stillness with rooted focus. All of these practices build a shield from the ground up. When your feet learn to connect deeply with the earth, they draw strength from it. That strength rises through your entire body, creating a shield that cannot be easily broken. It is not about how strong your muscles are. It is about how deeply you are rooted in the energy of the earth. The one who walks with awareness of every step cannot be captured easily, because each step is already fortified with intention. Another level of protection comes through words. Words carry frequency, and frequency shapes energy. The words you speak to yourself, the affirmations you repeat, the prayers you say, these are all vibrations that seal your field. Speaking words of strength over your feet each day is not just symbolic, it is powerful. When you declare, "No chain can bind my steps, no energy can hold me back, I walk freely and protected," you are programming your energy field with resilience. The words you repeat consistently become armor around your spirit. Symbols and objects can also serve as reminders of protection, though they only work if your awareness gives them power. Wearing certain stones, using oils, or keeping protective charms on your body can reinforce your shield, but they are not magical on their own. It is your intention that activates them. For example, oiling your feet with awareness, saying as you do it, "These steps are sealed, no harm may enter," creates a protective layer that the body remembers. When combined with consistent practice, these rituals condition your energy to remain strong, even without the object present. One of the most overlooked shields is silence. The less you expose your path to others, the harder it becomes for them to target it. When you constantly announce where you are going, what you are planning, and how you are moving, you are opening doors for interference. But when you guard your steps, when you keep your direction quiet until it is firmly established, your shield strengthens naturally. Silence is a powerful form of protection, because it denies others the information they need to interfere with your journey. Fortification also comes from alignment. When your thoughts, words, and actions are aligned with your deeper values, your energy flows smoothly. But when you live in conflict with yourself, when you say one thing and do another, your energy field weakens. Alignment creates integrity, and integrity creates strength. Attacks can only cling to cracks, and living in alignment closes those cracks. A person who walks with integrity may still face attacks, but they pass through without finding a place to anchor. Above all, consistency is the true shield. Doing one ritual of protection will not sustain you for long, but living daily with practices that strengthen your field creates resilience. The one who consistently trains awareness, disciplines thought, cleanses energy, and fortifies the steps will eventually reach a point where attacks lose their power completely. They may still come, but they cannot enter. They may try to bind, but the chains dissolve before they touch. This is the essence of energy fortification. It is not about living in fear of attack, but about living so strongly that attacks become irrelevant. When your shield is strong, you no longer worry about who is sending negativity or trying to bind your steps. You walk with confidence, knowing your energy is sealed, your path is guarded, and your steps are unstoppable. And when you reach this state, no force, seen or unseen, can destroy your movement. Reclaiming your path with conscious steps means more than simply walking forward again. It means walking with awareness, with discipline, and with intention, so that every movement you make is aligned with your destiny rather than with the chains that once tried to bind you. Many people, after freeing themselves from negative energy or destructive influence, continue to walk unconsciously, repeating the same patterns that made them vulnerable in the first place. True freedom does not come only from breaking chains. It comes from choosing how to step once those chains are gone. The way you walk after being attacked will determine whether you remain free or whether you become bound again. When you reclaim your path, you must first acknowledge that every step carries energy. Movement is not neutral. Where you go, how you go, and why you go creates momentum that either builds your destiny or delays it. To walk consciously is to recognize that the ground beneath your feet is not just soil or stone. It is symbolic of the life you are creating. Each step is a declaration. If you step carelessly, life will respond carelessly. If you step with clarity, life will open paths in response to your clarity. Walking consciously requires discipline. It means you no longer move simply because others tell you where to go, or because fear pushes you in a direction, or because doubt keeps you circling in the same place. Discipline is choosing your steps with awareness, even when it is difficult. Sometimes this means walking away from places where your energy feels drained. Sometimes it means refusing invitations that lead you backward instead of forward. Other times it means walking alone for a season because the path you are reclaiming is not meant to be crowded. This discipline is not easy, but it is necessary, because an undisciplined step can lead you right back into the traps you fought so hard to escape. Intention is equally important. When you rise each day and place your feet on the ground, ask yourself, what am I walking toward today? What energy am I carrying into the world with each step? If your intention is unclear, you may find yourself drifting, wandering aimlessly, and in that wandering, it is easier for negativity to reattach itself. But when your intention is strong, your steps become